In these uncertain times, the pandemic is still fresh on our minds. Gas and food prices increasing, and talk of Web 3.0 and the metaverse delight some and strike terror in others. Entrepreneurs, once enthusiastic about the future, now question the calling on their life. Some will find answers online, others will turn to trends and fads, but the real solution is a change in mindset. Your mindset is a set of beliefs that shape how you make sense of the world and yourself. It influences how you think, feel, and behave in any given situation. If mindset shapes all of that, then what influences mindset? Our answer: exposure. Exposure to a new environment. Exposure to experiences from those who have seen this before. Exposure to what works for those with proven track records that what they're doing is working. P.I.L.L Method Seminars presents Developing a Spiritual Money Mindset. 3 days at the Gaylord Opryland Resort in Nashville, Tennessee, where you'll be exposed to leaders in real estate, leaders in the metaverse, leaders in building a financial legacy. Expose yourself to the top motivational speaker in the world, Dr. Eric Thomas, in person. It's all happening May 20th through 22nd. Go to ice10kevents.com to purchase your ticket today.
Once we understand how it works, you don't have to pay all that interest. I found that out years ago. And now that we know that, I've been helping clients from in several countries now to level up their game, understand the rules to the game. Listen, we've been borrowing money our entire lives, for one thing or another. Whether it's school, whether it's for a car, whether it's for a home, just credit cards. But we've never had a class on how it really, really works, how the bank makes their money doing this. And so how can we understand it better so that we can borrow money at a discount? So how would you like to take what you're currently doing with your loan? You don't have to refinance it, but now with your current budget, cut your interest cost by 75%. That means less of your money goes to interest, more of your money goes to principal. Oh, how would you like to be able to do that? I'm telling you, it makes all the difference in the world. Once that happens, folks, then you are in charge. You stop spending your kids' inheritance on interest, and then you're able to acquire the same asset at a much lower interest cost. Therefore, you can now invest the interest savings into your future. So, Jared, I'm excited to get into this thing today and to talk about the Mindset Conference that's coming up. Let's go ahead and get started. I'm in the office, so I'm getting things going here.
All right. So to get this room started, we would love your help, right? So we want to get one person on this stage to ask a question. This question can be about your 30-year mortgage. This question can be about, should I get a refinance? The question could be about, does this work with car loans? Does this work with credit card debt? And how do I pay off that student loan that's been haunting me since 1976? And Don will show you how to pay it off in a couple years, which is the most mind-blowing example that there is out there. So I got somebody who raised their hand. Amazing. Lady CB getting it. We appreciate you for coming through. All right. And Don, are you ready to answer a question?
No, not quite yet. I'm still getting online.
All right, perfect. So Cassandra, just hang tight for us for a bit. I would love for Kirk and 10K to quickly introduce themselves while Don is getting set up. And again, thank you to the 9 people that have shared the room. Keep sharing the room. We really appreciate it. And also, if you have questions and you can't come on stage, type them into the chat. But Cassandra, we'll be getting to you as soon as possible. So let's go with 10K cards. Please introduce yourself. All right, let's go with Kirk. If you can unmic on Clubhouse and let people know who you are and what you do.
Good morning, everybody. My name is Kirk Nugent. I get a chance to serve as the producer for this show, The Pill Method, How to Pay Off Your Mortgage in 7 Years. One of the things that I love to do with live video strategy, live video coaching, and especially live video marketing is help entrepreneurs, faith-based entities, and small businesses harness the power of live video, because we believe that your live stream is your digital storefront, because there's no greater way for anybody to experience your greatness, your services, the products that you have to offer, than to see you do it live. Because when you do it live, there's something special and magical that happens that they're able to witness, and they don't need the pitch. They don't need the ad campaign. They don't need to see all the examples at that point. They're ready to do business with you because they see your passion and your expertise on display for all to see. So that's what I do. And Don is one of the shining examples of somebody that I'm coaching, somebody that I'm working with to be able to bring his greatness, his version, and his flavor of financial legacy and leadership to the world. So we're excited about that. And as you can see, Don has joined me on screen now, so we're able to get that going. But yeah, that's what I do. That's what I bring to this space as well. And I'm excited to be able to partner with Don and the team here. If that is something you're interested in, we would definitely want you to tap in with me at kirk10klive.com. We're going to get some things shifted around here so that we don't get the echo, but we're going to make those changes right now. All right. And Sean Lashley. All right. So Cassandra, let's go ahead and just, I want to just get a preview of what the questions are. And then if Don's not available to answer them right this second, we'll repeat the question. But Cassandra, thanks for coming up. What was your question?
Yes, thank you for having me. My name is Cassandra. I'm a barber, I'm a stylist, and just really got into like the real estate when I bought my house. So my question is, because I guess let me see, how can I put this? So I'm in a position, in a unique position where my house is almost paid off in the 15-year term. I mean, not 15, but the 30-year term, and under the 15 years. So, I mean, I've had a bunch of little strategies that I've taken on my own, and just really being blessed in other ways, and taking advantage of some incentives. But now that I've reached a different point in my career as far as an entrepreneur, I started a business in short-term rentals and rental arbitrage, and that's been helping me a lot. So I've been able to increase my the money, the income coming in. And my question really is geared towards, okay, so I've been working so hard to get the house paid down, but then I was somebody close to me, my a family member that is really into um finances and mortgages, and she was like, oh well, you shouldn't pay your house off, because I was like, well, I've already talked to the bank, and what my interest is right now is really low. And they were like, well, yeah, we're not going to be able to beat that because of those incentives that I was able to take part in, and having getting locked into this a fixed rate, where now that the market has changed, things are different as far as interest goes, and I'm really close to paying off the house. So I was thinking, okay, well, with my business that's turnkey, that I can just take that money and invest it back into the house and have the house paid off. But then they were like, no, you shouldn't pay it off that fast because of what comes after. So my question is geared towards that part, like, in this market that's so volatile. And I know that you're explaining how to pay these mortgages off fairly quickly. But I mean, like, what are the cons of doing that? Like, what happens? I mean, because I haven't reached that level yet where it is paid off, but it's like, do I slow walk the rest of, I think I got like 25,000 left to pay. So do I slow walk that and milk it because of, the whatever advantages that may have, or especially being locked in at the rate that I'm locked in at? or do I, take advantage of what comes after when it's paid off, and being able to utilize some of the equity in the house to maybe put back into other businesses. So that was just really what my question was. A little brief synopsis of what the background of that was, and if they have any other questions to be able to answer that question that they need from me, definitely ask, because I was curious.
Cassandra, that is a really, really a good explanation of what you're going through. But one of the things that people, when it comes to loans, we have been taught to ignore. How much does it cost to manage the loan? What is it that you do for a living? You said you're in cosmetology?
Yes. So I'm a hairstylist and
Mhm.
barber and educator. So I've
Okay.
been able to, just work that market for the longest. And I've, like I said, when I got into buying the house in the beginning, it was like, oh, okay, well, I buy a house, have that everybody has the dream of generational wealth and
Right.
some kind of legacy. So that was that reason then. But I didn't know what I was getting into
Mhm.
when I bought the house, and then all the things that came with those trials and tribulations. And then, like I said, I was able to take advantage of a bunch of incentives and situations that got me to a point where, I was able to pay the house down over 40% under 15 years.
Right. So here's the thing: when people give us advice on not paying off a house, and there are financial experts galore that preach the same thing. And what you've got to remember is what you got to think of when you're giving that advice. And when somebody gives you that advice, folks, you got to ask them one thing. Then how much is it going to cost me to manage my loan? How much is it going to cost me to just keep making the minimum payments? And if I were to pay off the house early, how much interest could I save and then invest that money? You see, when people give us that advice, they give us that advice with absolutely no math, no math involved. They'll look at a 3% mortgage and say, why would you pay off a 3% mortgage when you can then invest your money and do something else? Is that sort of like the advice you're getting?
Right. Because I'm locked in at a 4.2.
Okay.
Well, and
All right.
so
Let's talk about that just a minute. If you have a $200,000 mortgage at 3% interest, okay, for 30 years, do you know the bank wants $103,000 in interest on that loan? So it's not a 3% loan at all. It's a 51% loan. If more people realize that, then they're saying, should you go ahead and keep on paying the minimum payment on your 51% loan and then take other monies so that you can make 2, 3, 5, 10, even 15% on your money by investing it when you're paying 50% interest over here? It makes a difference once we know the numbers, doesn't it?
yes, for sure.
Okay.
And that's why I asked,
Exactly.
what the cons would be at the end of that.
Exactly. So here's another thing. On a 4% loan, the bank wants 71% of what you borrowed. So if it was a $100,000 loan, just a $100,000 mortgage, at 4%, the bank wants $71,000 interest on your $100,000 loan. That's $171,000 paid back. At 5%, the bank wants 93% of what you borrowed. So if on a $100,000 loan, the bank wants $93,000 interest on a $100,000 loan at 5%. At 6%, the bank wants 115.838%. So they want $115,000 interest on a $100,000 loan. So the interest rate we're quoted is not the interest rate we pay. That's the main thing. So when we're talking about what should I do, it's going to be based on how you run your current business.
Do you need products and supplies to run your current business? I'm sorry, I couldn't hear you. This is Cassandra. If you're speaking, you're on mute.
Oh, I'm sorry. Can you hear me now?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, definitely need product and supply. And then, like I said, I just got into doing like the short-term rental.
There you go. Short-term rentals. So you know what it costs to furnish your
Right,
short-term
right.
rental.
So that's why I was like, well, if I pay it off early with some of the money already circulating in that
Mm-hmm.
business, will I be able to grab that home equity line of credit that I have built into the house and
Mm-hmm.
use that to do other things? But
So let me
both,
ask you this. Does it matter what you spend for furniture? How much you spend on your furniture to furnish your home?
I mean, I guess it doesn't matter. I don't know. This is the new level.
Well, yeah. I mean, so let's say you can get very good furniture, all right, at a certain price. So, and then you can spend $100,000 just on furniture if you wanted
Right,
to.
right.
Does that make sense for your building? Or you could spend $200,000 on furniture. Does that make sense for your building?
Mm-hmm.
You see what I mean?
Right.
So when people give us advice about how to pay back loans, but absolutely no information on how much interest I'm paying on the loan, actual interest in dollars and cents. Don't give me
Right.
interest rate, because interest rate
Right.
is a lie. So we need to be able to put our information together and be able to say, you know what? I want to know what this is costing me. Now that your loan is almost paid off, do you know that? So you had a 30-year loan?
Yeah, it was a 30-year loan. It
Mm-hmm.
started out at a 120,000.
Uh-huh.
And then, like I said, there was some things that transpired and took place, and then about midway through, I got that modification and like some other incentives that
Okay.
took off like
Let's run.
at least $60,000 off the back end, and I've been making
Well, let's run some numbers. Let's run some numbers so we can
Okay.
have an idea of what we're talking about. Are you able to see us on YouTube as well as be on Clubhouse?
Hold on, let me look.
So if you go, you want to be on two separate
This
devices.
link right here. Oh, two separate devices.
Two separate devices, because if you go there, you can't hear me.
Oh yeah, definitely.
All right. So if you're near a computer or a tablet, let me know. But if not, I'll just walk you through the numbers. Okay.
Okay. Yeah, I'm on it. I'm just logging into YouTube now, but I can hear you.
All right. Great. So you said your loan started out at how much?
120,000.
120,000 was a 30-year loan, and what was the interest rate?
At that time, it was like 10.15.
Okay, hold on for a second. 10.15. Let me put that in. I want to show you guys something. 10.15. All right. Now, would you be interested to know 10.15? Would you be interested to know that your loan was easier to pay off at 10.15 than it is now?
Yeah, that's crazy.
Let me- so you definitely want to see this example. So I'm going to go ahead and put this on the screen, share my screen. There we go. And I've got your loan at 10
What's the
point.
link on YouTube?
Yeah, you want to go to either, if you're on YouTube, just search Pill Method, or you can go to just type into your browser ice10kvideos.com.
Okay, I see the channel. Okay, I see you live now.
There you go. All right.
Mm-hmm.
So I got $120,000 in here, okay, at 10.15 interest rate. Okay.
John, I don't have your screen.
You don't have it? Okay, sorry. There we go. All right, Cassandra, so you want to turn down your volume on your computer.
Oh, sorry.
That's okay.
Okay, there we go.
All right. So there we go. So I've got that. Now I'm going to also put in here duplicate tab. I'm going to put in $120,000 at a lower interest rate, so you can see you can see the difference. Okay.
Okay.
All right. Hold on. All right. And I messed up. Hold on. Let me get it back up. All right. There we go. And Brett Whistle. There we are. All right. Close this. And $120,000. $120,000 at 10.15. 0.15. There we go. And calculate that. All right. And then we're going to also do another one, $120,000. And what's your interest rate now?
My interest rate now is so it went down from it was 2% for 6 years, and then
Well, let's just put it at 2%.
Okay.
Yeah, that's good. For this example is going to be good. Okay.
Okay.
2%. So he said, man, if I could get a 2% loan instead of a 10% loan, I got to be way better off, right?
Right.
Right. So now I'm just saying, what if we're able to afford both payments? Okay. That's going to be the key here. If you can afford both payments, and I'm going to show you something that's very interesting. Now, I'm going to preface this right now and say, you need the right interest rate for you. And I don't know what that is until we do an analysis. Okay.
Okay.
So I'm not saying if you have a choice between a 10% and a 2%, take the 10 or take the 2. I'm not saying either one. I can't say unless we do a proper analysis and say, this is the right interest rate for you so that you can pay the least amount of interest to manage this loan. So that's the key to paying off a loan is how much interest can I save that the bank wants? We already know how much they want when we start, right?
Right.
So how can we cut the amount of money that they want from us? How can we cut that by 50 to 75% without changing our budget? That's the key to this thing. Not how fast you can pay down your loan, but how cheaply you can pay down your loan. Because when you run your business, you want to get the best quality supplies you can get, but you want to make sure that you get all the good price breaks, right?
Right.
Exactly. So when we are borrowing money, do you know we're actually just renting their money? We're renting the bank's money. And what if you could rent it at wholesale instead of getting it at retail? Good idea?
Yeah.
Okay. So let's take a look at this 2% loan. It's $443.54. Are you seeing that?
Mm-hmm.
And so when we take a look at this, we've got $243.54 going to principal and $200 going to interest. And it's going to take a minute for that to catch up.
Right.
All right. And the next month, you got $243.95. So it doesn't change by very much. Right. $243.95 and $199.59 going to interest. $199.59. Okay, so this is how we're paying back the loan. Not with the entire payment, but just the principal payments. The rest of this money goes to interest. That's the rent on the money. Okay? Mm-hmm. So far, so good?
Yeah.
All right. So if I make this payment this month, all right, I know that I just made my mortgage payment this month. I don't owe anything until next month. Mm-hmm. But my principal payment, what is my principal payment for next month? How much is that?
It's just a little higher.
Mm-hmm. How much is it?
That $243.95.
Yes, ma'am. But knowing what you know about loans already, do I have to wait till next month to give the bank $243.95?
No.
If I wanted to, I could give it to them this month
before the interest hits.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah.
So if I give them that money, then I'm paid down to line 2 in just 1 month, right? Mm-hmm. And so my next mortgage payment for next month is actually now on line 3 because I gave them the $243.95 early.
Right.
I just eliminated one line, not for the entire payment, but just for $243.95. Wow.
Kind of like what they do with the cell phones and they prorate you.
Yeah. Okay. And so now guess what happened to this $199.59 in interest on line 2? Guess what happened to that?
It went down.
Most people think that, but it did go down. It went all the way down to 0. You never have to pay that.
Right.
You just saved $199.59 in interest you don't have to pay.
So would that be like that rule of, you pay it, like within 10 or 20 days of the billing cycle so that you don't have to hit that, get that interest?
No, it doesn't work like that at all. For a mortgage, all you have to do is make sure you pay it before the next bill is due.
Okay.
And now, when it comes to looking at all of your other loans and when it comes to overall, we can choose a day that's going to be better for you, but that takes a lot of math. Our computer system does that. There's no rule of thumb that can tell you pay it on the first, pay it on the second, pay it on the there is no rule of thumb that everybody can use. Okay? That's like putting the same products on every head that comes into your shop. Do you do that? No. You can't.
Right.
Different textures, different this, different that. We got to use this product for your hair because your hair is like this.
Right.
Then why do financial gurus tell us we all need to do it this way for everybody? So have you ever had anybody sit down and say, you know what, here is a financial plan specifically for you, Miss Cassandra?
Oh, no.
No.
I mean, I've been doing this because, I'm not going to lie, growing up, you're not taught that part of finances and what money and how money is supposed to flow through your foundation. We just not taught that.
Now, let me show you.
Not everybody.
Exactly. Now, let me show you this. What if we make, so now that you know this, okay, let's say we make that first payment right here. And then we give the bank the next 3 principal payments only on top of our regular payment. That would be the $243.95, the $244.35, and the $244.76. We give the bank that much money, and we now eliminate 3 more mortgage payments for a lot less money and save the interest on those lines as well. And our next mortgage payment will actually for next month will be on what line of this schedule?
Right, like 9 or 10?
No, it would be on line 5.
Oh, 5.
Right, because we got rid of 2, 3, and 4 all in 1 month by giving the bank a lot less money. Right. This is what you were doing when you were paying your loan off early, but you had no idea how much interest you were saving. What if you knew that? Then you could apply the right amount of money to save the maximum amount of interest every time you did that. Yeah. That's the key to getting out of debt. Now that we've learned this, okay? Take a look at cumulative principal, column 3, and cumulative principal, column 4. Take a look at that. Right. Okay. Now at the 12-month mark, we will pay this loan down by $2,949.44. Wow. How much interest will it cost us?
I mean, so would you add all the other lines up to that?
Yep, cumulative interest. Okay. $2,300, right?
Right.
Okay. So here's my question. Knowing that you are eventually going to pay this loan down by $2,900, eventually, do you have to pay it in 12 monthly installments?
No.
If you had it, could you pay it in 1 installment on line 1?
So I really don't owe $27,000 if I can pay this off quicker.
so let me ask you here. Okay. So if we give that to the bank at one time, right? Right. Will we be paid down to here in just 1 month?
Exactly.
And what would happen to all the interest costs between line 2 and line 12?
Oh, they disappeared.
They disappeared. So I'm going to give the bank this money anyway, but this way I don't have to give them $2,300 in interest.
More.
I can do it for only $200 in interest. How's that sound?
Yeah.
Now, I'm going to show you, that's the 2% loan. Let me show you the 10% loan. And when you first see it, it's going to, because you've seen this, you're going to be so happy when you see the 10% loan. Okay. And you're going to see exactly why. Now, the payment now is $1,061.96 a month, right?
Mhm.
So it is higher.
Right.
But look at the principal and interest payment. Wait till it shows up. Wait for it. Wait for it. Are you seeing the principal payment now?
Yeah. I
How
see
much
the
is it?
interest. Right. I mean, it's not much more. I mean, he's still in that same range, like pennies more.
No, 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 no. Look at the
Oh,
principal payment.
the principal payment. Right.
How much is
Yeah.
it?
The principal payment is 229.49.
No, 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 no.
44.
No, no, you're looking at the wrong one.
Oh, and column 4, right?
No, just column number 1
Oh,
on payment number 1.
right, right. The $200 in the $200 in the interest,
That
right?
is, that's the old loan. I got the 10% loan up now.
Oh, see, it hasn't refreshed on my end then.
It hasn't?
Uh-uh.
Okay.
Hold on.
Okay. We got to get you seeing this one now.
Let me just hit this. Okay, see, that's different. Yeah, it hadn't refreshed. Oh, yeah, I see that.
Okay.
Wow.
Now, that's what your loan looked at it before.
Because you put more into the interest.
Right. So do you see the principal payment now?
Uh-huh.
Now, if you saw that before you had this little class with us, that would have been discouraging, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
Only $51 going to principal and $1,000 going to interest.
That's why I fought so hard to get out of that 10%.
Yeah.
And I got into what I'm in now. And
Right.
I mean,
So now, if I wanted to get rid of line 2 and not pay $1,009 in interest, how much extra do I have to give the bank?
a lot more extra.
No, 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 no. Remember, we fight the fight.
No. So it's the same principle. The 52.
There you go.
Okay. Yeah.
So is it easier to come up with $52?
Yeah, exactly. Okay, I see.
See, if you can afford the payment, you see how much.
I know now.
So now remember, we were looking at what, an extra paying off that $2,900 in just 1 year for giving it up front for a year's worth of principal.
Right.
Look at cumulative principal now. I'm going to scroll down to $2,900.
Mm-hmm.
Do you see it moving?
Yeah.
And it knocks off how many payments? Down to line what?
Dang. I mean, if you do that, I mean, you're gonna go further than line 40. Right. But you'll save about $5,000 in interest.
Listen, that's $46,000 in interest.
Right.
So this is what we're talking about. I'm not saying you should have stayed in the 10% loan. What I am saying is that we need to understand these loans better.
Yeah, and they got me, and I didn't know.
Yes.
They was just like, here, sign here, and I did.
Yes.
And not knowing what the numbers look like.
Everybody does. Everybody does it. I mean, everybody thinks this way, except after they come to this room and see what's going on here. Use the tiny principal payments. You can dig down deep into this loan quicker, faster, and cheaper than you can at a 2%. Wow.
Yeah.
And nobody knows that, but you know it today.
Yeah.
Okay.
Definitely.
So we can knock off with that same amount of money, 47 payments we never have to make.
Right.
And then they said, well, Don, what about these huge interest payments? And I said, well, the interest payments you skip don't matter.
Right.
We just skipped 46 of them with the same amount of money.
Yeah.
All right. So that's what we're talking about. So in answer to your question, to know what to do, we would have to do an analysis for you about your particular situation. And when you ask, should I pay the loan off, or should I slow roll it and put my money into something else, or should we get a HELOC and do some other things? That's a complicated question.
Right.
And you need the numbers to prove it out. And that's what we do. We help our clients do those numbers. Would you like to have someone do the numbers for you?
Sure.
All right. Then you would go to ICE, then the
Is
link at
this
the
it in the
top.
top?
Yep.
Okay.
ICE10kreport.com right up there. Okay.
Okay.
Once you click on that, you will be taken to our website.
Okay. I'm there.
And then you click on the button that says get a savings and earnings report. Fill out that information. Okay. Fill out the information. Follow all the instructions. And then someone from my staff will give you a call and set up a consultation so that we can start looking at, should I pay off this loan early? Now, here's the thing. One of the things you're going to have to consider. Do you see the deeper you get into the loan, the smaller the principal payments? The interest, the interest payments. Okay. So once you have a little bit left on the loan, there's not much interest left on the loan.
Right.
So to pay it off, we don't pay off loans to pay them off. We
Right.
pay off loans to save interest.
Right.
We need to know how much interest you have left to pay and see if it makes sense to save that amount of interest, or should you use your money to make a certain amount of interest. So let's say I'm just guessing, and I'm just throwing out some numbers here because we've had some people in this situation. They were trying to pay off a loan, okay, and they had several. This lady has 6 houses, and she only owed about $35,000 on one of the homes, and she was going to pay it off, so it could be cash flowing right away. But she only owed about $5,000 worth of interest left. So if she paid off the 35 grand, it was only going to save her $5,000 in interest.
Okay.
You see that part. So, but if she put that $35,000 on one of her other homes, it would have saved her over $100,000 in interest.
Okay.
You see? So that's what we have to take a look at. And that's what we have to answer. How much interest is it going to cost you or save you to make a decision? And that's where we come in.
Right.
And I want to thank you for being with us this morning. I hope this has been helpful.
Thank you so much. Yes, it has been helpful. And I hope it, helps some other people, as well.
Most definitely. Most definitely. So hang around. We're going to be talking about our conference that's coming up this next weekend in Nashville, Tennessee, where you're going to be able to see some top-notch stars from Clubhouse and around the country talking about finances, talking about short-term rentals, talking about creative financing, lending, banking, the whole 9 yards, and how to pay off mortgages in an average of 7 to 9 years. All right, we're going to be talking about that in just a little bit. Cassandra, do you have any other questions for us this morning?
I don't, but I do. Could you mute my mic? I guess my phone got stuck.
All right.
I do appreciate this and hope everybody gets a little value off of that.
Oh, then listen, you probably have a little glitch, so you may want to go out and come back in. So we'll mute it for you. But yeah, so if you want to come in again and ask a question, please do. Jared, back to you, sir.
Team, you can go to ice10kreport.com. If you go into the chat, you'll see that I put that information in the chat as well. And if you're new to the room and you want to see the examples live on your screen, you can go to your laptop, your iPad, or your desktop and type in ice10kvideos.com, and also put that in the chat as well. So ice10kvideos.com, you go to episode 84, and I'll have a little red live button in the panel. And you just go ahead and watch that there, put it on mute, and listen to it on Clubhouse. All right. And make sure that you're following Don if you haven't done so already. He does amazing content on Clubhouse. Your hallway's curated by who you follow. So if you're not following Don, make sure you click on his profile, give him a follow now. And also check out the other moderators, myself, 10K Cards, Kenyatta, Credit King Steve, and Credit Goddess, all amazing content creators on this app. So when it comes to the next, because Carolyn's been on stage for a second, I'm going to have her ask her question. And then after that, we'll go into some moderator intros. And then we want to talk about this conference that's up at the top. So while we're going through these examples, we'd love for everybody to click the link at the top and browse what is going to be happening May 20th to the 22nd. Go to the speakers and check out all the speakers and what they're going to be speaking about. You definitely want to be here. Tickets are going to sell out this week. They could sell out today or tomorrow. So I recommend you buy the tickets today, if at all possible. With that being said, though, I want to respect Caroline, who's been on the stage since 8:30 Central Time, and let you ask your question, and then we're going to get into moderator intros and talk a little bit about this conference. So Caroline, what's your question?
Good morning. Thank you, Jarrett. My husband and I, on January the 1st, purchased a new home, and the home purchase price was $290,000, and it's a 30-year fixed rate, and our rate is high. It's 3.62. My question is, the mortgage company told us that if we did make one extra payment, full house payment a year, that would allow us to pay the 30-year note off 8 years earlier. However, my question is, the title of this room is How to Pay Off a Mortgage in 7 Years. Do we owe too much at this point to be able to pay it off in the time frame you all are going to be discussing, please?
Absolutely not. We take brand new mortgages. I mean, before you make the first payment and pay those and help you to pay those off in an average of 7 to 9 years. That's the average. Now, I just had a client send me an email and said, thank you very much. We just paid off our mortgage, $310,000, 3.6 years.
Oh my goodness. That is incredible. And my husband is right here, so you won't think my voice is changing. He has a question. His name is John.
Listen, are you guys watching us on YouTube as well?
No, I'm just on Clubhouse.
Well, listen, if you would go to your tablet or laptop or something and pull it up, I can actually put your numbers right on the screen, and we'll go over some of that today. Okay,
well, let me go get my iPad. I'll be right back.
There you go. There he goes.
Okay, this could be amazing. It's an FHA-backed loan.
Right.
And let's see, I forgot what I was going to say. Oh, yes. So what my goal is we are just in the very early information gathering stages to find out how to get funding to build probably an 8-plex short-term rental. And we are in a community that the population is only 3,200 in Lancaster, Kentucky. And there are very, very few places for people to actually rent. Mm-hmm. So that's what we are actually gathering information to find out. But of course, I hear all of you experts saying that you can purchase property with no money down, other people's money. So that is definitely what our goal is to look at right now.
Okay, your YouTube channel.
You want to go to just type in ICE. That stands for Interest Cancellation Expert. ICE10kvideos.com. That's the number 10, the letter K, videos.com. And that'll take you to our YouTube channel. And you just click on the one that says live.
He's doing it right now. I sure wish, Dawn, that I knew about your seminar that's coming up on May the 20th sooner than when I found out about it, which was just last week.
Yes.
Because I would definitely love to attend. We're close to Tennessee. We've stayed at the Gaylord before.
Wow.
It's absolutely beautiful. So I'm hoping, that perhaps you will make videos and I'll be the first person to purchase.
Yes. Well, we're going to make videos.
Well, you know that your first purchaser is going to be Caroline Boyd.
Okay. Well, because Caroline, we do have a virtual option as well.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Oh, yeah. Well, you go there. We're going to be talking about that. You can get the virtual option. It's $299, and you can watch it virtually.
Oh, we're going to sign up for sure. We can do that.
Yes.
Okay. My husband has this pulled up now.
All right, now let's go over now. It's going to be a little delay between what I'm talking about and what you see. But what's the amount of the mortgage again?
Hang on just a minute, get back under my mortgage page. The mortgage loan or the mortgage originally was for $290 ish, but that's including all the FHA fees. It's an FHA backed loan.
Okay, yeah, 290, and the interest rate was what?
3.625.
3.625. Did you hear the last example where I said, higher interest rates will probably work out better for you?
Yes.
I wasn't here.
He wasn't in the room.
Okay. Well, listen, let's talk about that. Let's see what you got here. Okay. So what is your question about your loan?
My question is, Carolyn came in and she was jumping up and down talking about, there's a guy out there telling us how we can pay our mortgage off for 7 years. You got to get out here. Okay.
He's never listened to you all on Clubhouse.
Okay.
I listen to your rooms every day.
All right.
And I came out and you were discussing with, I believe her name was Cassandra. He had gotten another loan, and that's where I came in. I didn't hear the beginning of that conversation, but that's where
I don't know if it pertains to us, though.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So our question is, they told us at the bank that we could pay our loan off in 8 years earlier, but that was only if we made one extra payment a month. So what should we be focusing on right now so that we can get this paid off in 7 years?
Got you. All right. Here's what we're going to do now. For some reason, my program won't calculate. So let me make sure that my email my internet is working well. Let me get rid of this one. Let's just start over. All right. So 290,000.
Yes, sir.
All right, 290,000. All right. All right, internet, don't fail me now. Okay, 290,000 and 3.625. Now I'm only going to put on the principal and interest payment, okay?
Okay.
All right. Principal and interest payment is $1,322.55.
Yeah, that's about right because of that. We have to have that PMI.
Okay. Now here is the problem. Now if you do like a bi-weekly payment, and that way you will do like one extra payment a year. Okay. And the most you could save is about 7 years. All right. And so they weren't too far off on that. So it's about 7 years, but we pay off in about 7. And here's one of the things that you've got to take a look at. Okay. While you're trying to make an extra payment a year. All right. Now, the amount of money that you put on this loan is going to be the amount of money you put on the loan, no matter what. And I'm just going to say, if you put $1,300, I'm just going to round it off to $1,300. Okay. So if I put $1,300 on now, if I take a look at cumulative principal and cumulative interest, okay, in 1 year, I will pay this loan down by $5,448.03. It's going to catch up with you in just a second. Okay, I'm watching on my iPad too, and it's going to cost you $10,000 in interest. Right. Okay. So now the interest payments go down as we get deeper into the mortgage payment, right?
Correct.
So now as we get deeper into this mortgage situation, then when we pay extra money, we know we're saving time and we know we're saving interest. So, sir, you didn't see that other example at all, did you?
No, sir.
So let's do this for you then, okay? So we're looking at payment number 1, $446.51 goes to principal, $876.04 goes to interest. Interest is nothing more than rent on your money.
Correct.
When we are attacking the loan, interest, the interest payments don't matter to us, just the principal payments, because that is really the mortgage payment. Mortgage payment has to do with the money we borrowed. We didn't borrow the interest.
Right.
We only borrowed the principal part. So we're going to focus only there. So if I make a payment this month, $446.51 goes to principal, They will subtract that from what I owe. I'm left with a principal balance of $289,553.49. Right?
I think I was a little bit off on my initial, but the numbers that I'm seeing on my screen are within $50.
There you go. That's good enough.
Yeah. But yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
we just need to know the process. When it comes to prepayment of principal, this is what P.I.L.L stands for: prepayment of principal, isolating the principal amount, leverage, and liquidity.
Okay.
So when we prepay principal, we need to know finally what happens when we do. Okay. Because when it comes to banking, we give the bank extra money, but we have no idea what we're purchasing.
Okay.
If you buy something on sale at the department store, they will actually print it on your receipt. This is how much money you saved.
Yeah, there's your line item right there.
There you go. So if you give the bank extra money, they don't print on the receipt how much you saved in interest. In fact, we don't even bother to ask.
They don't want us to know, do they?
No, ma'am, they do not. They do not want you to know that a little bit of money saves you a ton of interest. Watch this. So if we pay our mortgage payment this month, and we're paid down to $289,553.49, our principal payment for next month is how much, sir?
It's $447. So it's actually gone up. It's gone up less than $1.
Right. So if you know that, do you have to wait till next month to give the bank $447.86?
No.
If you had it, could you give it to them in this month?
Yeah.
Yes, we can.
And then all of that money would go to principal, wouldn't it?
Yes.
And then you'd be paid down to line 2 this month.
Right.
And then the next mortgage payment for next month is actually on line 3 of the schedule. So wherever your principal balance is, always look to the next line to know what to do. So your next mortgage payment for next month will actually be on line 3.
Okay. The way that our pay dates fall.
Yep.
The way that our pay dates fall, I'm actually paid up. My next mortgage payment isn't due until 1 July. So if I was to come in through here and pay an extra principal, say that looking at line 2, if I was to come through there and pay that $447.86,
yep,
prior to 1 July, then I'd skip down to say line 5 or line 4.
Well, yeah, depending on how much you paid.
I'm talking about the principal right there.
No, if you pay this, all right.
Okay.
You're paid down to line 2 already. And remember, whatever line you're on, you can only go to the next line.
Oh, okay.
Okay. So if you're paid down to here, then your next mortgage payment would be on line 3 for next month. Okay.
All right.
So watch this. So right now, I'm not explaining to you how our program works right now. We're just understanding how the bank charges for their money and how we don't have to pay all of that. Okay. So now next month, we're going to be here. We just got rid of line 2 on our mortgage amortization schedule for only $447.86. Line 2 is gone.
Okay.
Wow.
What happened to the $874.69, sir? What happened to that?
Back in my pocket.
There you go. Back in my pocket. That's interest you never have to pay. Okay. So now let's take a look at line. We're looking cumulative principal and cumulative interest, and we're going to look at line 12.
Okay.
So I know that eventually, because that's the principal payment, I know eventually we're going to pay at least $5,448.03 at some time in the future, correct?
Yes.
Because that's money we borrowed. But if we do it exactly the bank's way, we have to pay them an interest payment every single month. And for the first year, how much interest do they want to collect from us?
10 grand.
Exactly.
Wow.
And that's what they're hoping we never see. Just be happy you got a great interest rate and a great payment, but please, please, please don't add up how much interest you are paying us for 1 year. Okay. So now if I know that I've got to pay this, here's my next question. Do I have to pay the $54.48 in 12 monthly installments?
If you've got the pocket to afford it, I think that if you can knock off that accumulating interest, you want to do it as soon as you can.
As soon as you can. And that's the point I'm trying to make with that $1,300 extra a year you want to pay to your mortgage. So no matter where I am in this mortgage, if I give the bank $5,000, they're going to reduce what I owe by $5,000, no matter where I am. The math is going to be the math, correct? Okay.
Yes.
All right. But does it make a difference when I pay the $5,000 in terms of how much interest I can save?
Well, I would again.
I don't know.
If it's cumulative daily interest, then you'd want to pay it sooner. That way, that money's not calculated into the debt.
Right. So let's see, Miss Carolyn.
Yes, sir.
All right. So here's what I was saying. If I can pay this $5,000 now, okay, because these are my highest interest payments, I will save $9,561.59 in interest I never have to pay.
That is absolutely amazing.
Now, because these are our highest interest payments. But if I gave the same $5,000, $5,448.03 in year 5, I can't save as much interest because the interest payments are smaller. Correct?
Paid earlier, yes, sir.
So if I wait every year to put an extra $1,300 on, if I do it every year, will I pay more interest doing that?
Yes. And I don't want to. In my husband's pocket.
And the more interest we pay, the longer we stay in debt. Okay?
Yes.
So here's what we're going to be looking at. How can we use your current budget? All right? Your current budget. And here's how we're going to do your budget. The monies you guys need to spend on family to create memories and to have a good time. Your lifestyle budget is number 1. There's a guy in Tennessee that says that's last. Okay.
Oh no, there's not. You don't know who he's talking about. He's talking about the big people like himself.
Okay, so we're talking about that guy. So he says, all right, so we're going to say, put that money up top so you know how much you want to spend on your family, correct? The next thing to do is we have to prepare for retirement. So there's a certain amount of money that you make that's going towards retirement savings and other types of savings, correct?
Yes.
All right.
My 401k is currently at 14%.
There you go. Now, the next thing we want to take care of out of your budget is making at least the minimum payments on your loans. At least. Can't do less than that, correct?
Yes.
All right. And the next thing is to make sure all the rest of the bills are paid. You know, church contributions, taking care of your credit card payment. No, I'm sorry. Your cell phone, like electricity, water, and food, those types of things. Make sure the cable is paid for and the sports package has to be paid for, correct?
Oh, he has several sports.
Okay, so all of that has to be paid for. Now, after we pay for all of that, that's everything, correct? Well, what about the money that's left over after we pay for everything? Couldn't we just put that in the bank?
We give ourselves an allowance and spend it.
That was number 1.
Frivolously.
Yeah, that was number 1. So your allowance goes at number 1. Your allowance is at the top of the page, not at the bottom.
Good. Thank you for letting it stay there.
There you go, ma'am. There you go. All right. So your allowance is at the top of the page. But once we do that, once your allowance is taken care of and all of that is taken care of, all the other bills are paid off, then you have money left over at the end of the month.
Yeah.
Why? We could put that in a savings account, couldn't we?
We should be, yes, sir.
And then we could build that up, couldn't we?
Yes.
And then we can attack this loan with big lump sum payments every 3, 4, 5 months, couldn't we?
And that's what we're going to do.
Ooh-wee. So
Yes.
now here's the next thing. We need to know with the P.I.L.L method, not only are we prepaying principal so we can know how much to pay, But the I stands for isolating the principal amount. So we can pay the right amount at the right time so that we can figure out how much interest we're saving per dollar.
Okay.
All right. So we're going to, I need you to pull out a calculator for this one so you can see this one. Okay.
Okay, I have it.
All right. So we just found out that by prepaying, we could save a lot of money in interest, correct?
Yes.
So let's just say we don't know exactly how much, and we can prepay any amount, but I'm just going to give you two choices, and we're going to pretend we have plenty of money in the bank. All right.
I'm good. Ending. Okay.
All right. Pretending we have plenty of money in the bank. And I'm going to give you two choices on this loan. You can prepay line 12, the 5448, and knock off 12 payments, or you could prepay the on line 24, the $11,096.85 and knock off 24 payments. So if you had plenty of money in the bank, which one would you choose?
Number 2, 24.
Okay. Why is that?
Because that saves double the interest. It pays 27, almost $21,000 in interest.
All right. So now I'm going to tell a little story. Okay. So here's my story. I've told it before, but I love it. All right. So my every now and then my wife makes zucchini bread, and when she does, she puts in golden raisins. All right. So one Sunday, she's making up the zucchini bread. She's, grating up the zucchini and warming up the oven and mixing up the batter and stuff. And my mouth is starting to water. And she looks into the pantry, and guess what? No raisins. So who gets to go to the store, sir?
You. Always.
She's always and forever. All right. So I'm headed out to the store. She says, bring me back 2 boxes. I get to the store and I get confused because now I want to get 2 boxes, but the raisins come in a 12-ounce box and an 18-ounce box. 2 different prices. How do I know which one is the better value?
You calculate it by ounce.
Exactly. That's the unit price. Okay. So if I can get those raisins at 3 cents an ounce, should I be paying 6 cents an ounce for them? Absolutely not. So did you realize if unit price is important in everything, and this is what the I in P.I.L.L method is for, so we can calculate the best unit price. For every dollar you give, you want to get the maximum amount of interest savings, correct?
That's right.
Oh boy, listen, we're going to learn something today. So let's say on line 12 here, if we could save $10,442.57, and we give the bank $5,448.03, if we divide this number, the 5,000 number, into the 10,000 number, that will tell us how much interest we're saving per dollar, won't it?
Yeah.
Let's do that. Let's put the 10,442 into our calculator.
Okay.
And I'm going to put my calculator up on the screen too. So we've got 10,442. Okay. 0.57. 57. All right. And we want to divide that by 5,448.03, and I get $1.91. Well, it's almost $1.92. Do you get the same thing? So for every dollar we give the bank here, it makes it impossible for them to charge us $1.91 in interest. So if you gave me $1 and I gave you back $1.91, how many times would you guys do that?
As long as I had dollars in my pocket.
There you go. There you go. All right. So here's what we're talking about. The bank has to do the exact same thing. You give them an extra dollar here, it makes it impossible for them to charge you $1.91 for every dollar you give them.
Wow.
Okay. So let's go now down to line 24 and put in the 20,000
into the calculator. Okay.
20,644.35.
Okay.
And we're going to divide that by what? 11,096.
Okay.
0.85.
Oh, I didn't do the 0.85.
And equals.
186.
Ooh. Is that less money per dollar?
Yeah, considerably.
Oh, does it matter? So here's my question. Does it matter how much we pay, what month we pay it in, what day of the month we pay it on, so that we can maximize the amount of interest we're saving per dollar?
Yes, it does. This is the part of the conversation you're having with Cassandra that I came in on right there, because she was talking about just as long as you make that extra principal payment before the mortgage or before the interest cycle kicks over again.
Right. And basically that is it. But we want to drill down even deeper.
Okay.
Yes, please.
And our opportunity cost calculator does all the work for you. It's like a financial GPS. It says move this much money in this month on this day of the month, and we're going to calculate for you the most amount of interest you can save per dollar at this point. Once it reaches that point, then you probably want to start looking at not throwing all of your money at the loan, but the rest of the money we don't need at this time, we can put it into an investment and look at wealth creation, not just interest cancellation. We don't need to do either or. We need to be doing a both and.
Right.
Okay. Saving money and making money and not missing on either side.
I am not opposed to either one of those ideas.
So folks, here's what you want to do. We want to go to let's see, ice10klive.com. And then you can, if you go to ice10klive.com, you'll see a button there that says get a savings and earnings report.
Okay.
Once you get the savings and earnings report, you get there and then fill out all the information, follow all the instructions, and then we'll send you a code to your cell phone. Take that code, put it into the website, and it will let you into our financial form, and then fill that form out, and someone from my staff will get a hold of you and set up a consultation, and you'll know the month, day, and year you'll be debt free and how much interest you can save. And we're going to show you what a small percentage of the interest saved pays for the program. So we get your bank to pay us. You get to keep the rest of the money.
They don't even realize what's getting ready to hit them, do they?
No, ma'am, they do not.
Thank you so much, Don, and we'll see you on the virtual event.
You are so welcome. So listen, we've got that link at the top. We're going to talk about that right about now. Unless Jared, we have some more people on stage to talk to. So I'll let you run the show. Jared, what's up? What's next?
Home loans just popped in the building, and she's going to be at the Money Mindset conference happening next weekend. And so, what I like to do is some quick moderator intros, like 30 seconds if possible, and then we're going to talk about this Money Mindset, conference that'll be happening in Nashville next weekend. And we'd love to hear what Miss Cooper is going to be talking about. I see Kenyatta's on the stage. I know she's occupied right now, so she won't be able to speak. Make sure you click on everybody's bios, give them a follow, and also make sure you're following Don. So I'm going to put the link up to the event at the top. And Kenyatta, if we'll start with you, and then we'll go with Credit King, Credit Goddess, Sharon, Miss Cooper Home Loans. And I'm passing you, Don, to talk about Nashville. Then we'll get to our next question, which is Zayden. So thank you, Zayden, for coming to the stage.
Sounds good.
Go through these intros. So Kenyatta, please introduce yourself. Okay. She may be away. So Credit King, if you're around, please introduce yourself.
Definitely. Thank you for allowing me to speak. My name is Stephen Onwenu. I go by the name of Credit King Steve out of Nashville, Tennessee. And I help people with everything financial, from taxes to personal credit, business credit. Help people to get funded up to $250,000 and $100 million business wise. And I love being in rooms like this where we're teaching people about financial literacy and helping people with their finances. And I'm just here to be a vessel to the team and help build, as well as help any way that I can and learn. Always be a student. as well as a teacher. So go by the name of Credit King Steve, and you can check out my bio. Thank you for having me.
Awesome. Thanks, Credit King, for being here. Credit Goddess, are you around? All right. So definitely make sure you tap in with Credit Goddess. Check out her profile. Click on her bio. Give her a follow. She is in our room 4 days a week, and we appreciate her support. And she'll probably be back around at the end of the room to tell you a little bit more what she does. Up next is Sharon. Sharon is somebody that supports this room often. If you want to open up your hallway to a lot more rooms, to different countries in the world, like Taiwan, you definitely want to follow Sharon, and we appreciate you for coming up and bringing your international audience into the room to hear about the P.I.L.L method, which is an international strategy. He has, how many countries do you have the P.I.L.L method in, Don?
Right now, we're currently in 9 countries.
Thank you for the audience that came in with Sharon. And if you want to expand your hallway, give Sharon a follow. Last but not least, Miss Cooper Home Loans.
Hey everyone, my name is Alicia Cooper. I'm known as Miss Cooper Home Loans on my social media platforms. I love being in spaces curated by Don. I'm so excited to be at the one of the speakers at your upcoming event in Nashville, Tennessee. I hope you'll be there. Credit Steve, and if you want to do any lives to promote it in that area of Nashville, I definitely would love to connect with you. So we can have as many people in the building as possible to learn about the spiritual money mindset. It's going to be an amazing event with all of the great speakers, also the phenomenal and number one hip hop preacher and motivational speaker, Eric Thomas, E.T. You have to be hungry enough, right? And, there's so many motivational speakers that speak on being hungry. But I'm really excited that Don is doing this event during this time where fear can set in as we watch the gas prices increase and we see inflation increasing, and the income that we're making doesn't match. But how do you combat the fear and then in turn take it and turn it into an opportunity to grow? And that comes from one, the exposure that you would get at an event like this. And honestly, I haven't seen one put on to this magnitude. I was watching you, Don, as you walked the hallways of the Gaylord, and I saw how large the hallways were and how excellent the food looked. And I just said, anybody who wants to get that breakthrough in their life, they need to be in the building. They need to be able to expand as big as their brain can think, right? We have to think really big. And my grandmom used to say a phrase, it's hard to be big when little got you. So I just encourage you to create a new network and think big and realize there's a lot of things you may not know. You're in this space today and may not have known about Don, the P.I.L.L method, and the fact that you have an opportunity to cancel your interest. Well, there's a lot more out there, and you want to be in the room to hear from all these amazing speakers. I look forward to being there. Thank you, Jared. Thank you, everyone else in the room, and Don.
Well, listen, Miss Cooper, thank you so very much, and thank you for your generous offer. You have an event coming up. You have a seminar, no, a course coming up, and you have generously told people that if they would purchase an in-person ticket, not a virtual, but an in-person ticket to our event, what will you do for them for your event? And yours is starting on the 23rd or the 24th.
Yes. So you guys may not had an opportunity to see my page, but what we do is we show you how you can get into the lending business without a license, an opportunity to build 6-figure incomes, not annually, but actually monthly, to help you reach a 7-figure goal. We've set a lofty goal to help 250 people earn $1 million. And we do this through a course that we offer called Biz Fund Academy, which teaches you how to build your own commercial and residential funding business in a box. The course is there, and on Clubhouse, we offer a 50% off coupon, which is RE Cafe. But for Don's event, with you purchasing an in-person ticket, not only do you get that 50% off, but an additional $1,500. And we wanted to put this because it's all about when you get this information, how are you going to implement it? What are you going to do next? And also supporting the events that Don has done, because he's always definitely supported our events as well. I want to make sure we help as many people. It's not just having you in the building, but we want to see you take action. We want to see you win. We want you to build that legacy and change the financial trajectory for you and your family. But it all begins with the exposure. I am a believer. I wear a key around my neck every day. And that key is actually my grandmother's house key. I walk with my ancestors daily. And I believe key stands for knowledge empowers you. So let's get this information so we can start building our new philosophies, our new way of being able to evaluate opportunity quickly so that we can execute. That's a big difference from those who aren't as successful. And by us doing that, we want to remove as many hurdles as possible. And that's why we've reduced the price with the in-person ticket for you being at Don's event. So make sure you get your tickets today. I believe it's ice10k.com, as well as www.smmindset.com.
Thank you so very much, Ms. Cooper Home Loans, Ms. Alicia Cooper. Listen, folks, that is amazing. That's an amazing offer. So take advantage of that. I've taken her course, and it is all that and like 3 bags of chips. Okay, so you definitely want to get in it. I was so amazed what you could do. And she's also going to be a speaker and talking a little bit about how all of that works at our conference. And then you get a little bit of that, and then you can go right back into her virtual class of so that you can learn how to be a business purpose lending.
Now, let's make it simple. You guys can become the bank.
You can become the bank. Oh, that's right. Become the bank. Listen, you want to be the most popular person at a networking event? Go in and announce you're the bank. You're the lender. Everybody wants to talk to you. Is that right, Ms. Cooper?
Sure is. That's our instant popularity when you have the money.
Jared, back to you, sir. Thank you, Ms. Cooper.
I'll be there. Keynote will be there. 10K Cards will be there. Jay Massey, Anthony Glenn, Jonathan Bing, Dr. Eric Thomas. And Don, did the people get to hear from Dr. Eric Thomas?
Not quite yet. Not quite yet. Ms. Cooper talked about the fear that grips people in times like these. We have a special presentation just to encourage people who might be going through that very thing, how to deal with that fear. We're going to roll that right now.
In these uncertain times, the pandemic is still fresh on our minds. Gas and food prices increasing, and talk of Web 3.0 and the metaverse delight some and strike terror in others. Entrepreneurs, once enthusiastic about the future, now question the calling on their life. Some will find answers online, others will turn to trends and fads, but the real solution is a change in mindset. Your mindset is a set of beliefs that shape how you make sense of the world and yourself. It influences how you think, feel, and behave in any given situation. If mindset shapes all of that, then what influences mindset? Our answer: exposure. Exposure to a new environment. Exposure to experiences from those who have seen this before. Exposure to what works for those with proven track records that what they're doing is working. P.I.L.L Method Seminars presents Developing a Spiritual Money Mindset. 3 days at the Gaylord Opryland Resort in Nashville, Tennessee, where you'll be exposed to leaders in real estate, leaders in the metaverse, leaders in building a financial legacy. Expose yourself to the top motivational speaker in the world, Dr. Eric Thomas, in person. It's all happening May 20th through 22nd. Go to ice10kevents.com to purchase your ticket today.
Dr. Eric Thomas, and give you just a taste of what you're going to receive when you get there in Nashville. Go ahead, Doctor.
This is an opportunity of a lifetime. Your grandma counting on you to do the right thing. Your mama counting on you. Your cousins, your brothers and sisters are counting on you to cash in on this opportunity. Everybody want to be a beast until it's time to do what beasts do. There are kids that don't get what, they don't eat like you eat. They're at the same university. They don't get what you get. But with this right here, your skill set, this thing can take you wherever you want to go and then take your kids wherever you want them to go. You know how many people would die to have the gear y'all got? You know how many people would die to get on these planes and travel the world? You know how many people would die to have your life? And you got it. Let's go. You got money, but do you got that dog? Yeah, you got money, you got privilege, but do you got that dog? Do you got that stamina? So yeah, you might have something I don't have right now, but if I work hard, I can have what you have. I want you to chant it out. This is it. Be phenomenal or be forgotten. 1, 2, 3. Be phenomenal, be forgotten. 1, 2, 3. Be phenomenal, be forgotten. Last time. 1, 2, 3. Be phenomenal, be forgotten.
Out that link up top, you're going to see people that you have heard and come to, you enjoyed, and you've come to respect, and you come to know, like, and love, so that you can do, even some of you have done business with some of these people. Listen, we've gone overboard to bring you the best of the best as far as talent is concerned. We brought you the best of the best, best of the best as far as the venue is concerned. We brought you the best of the best as far as the food and the accommodations, and it's going to be at a resort. Most of our speakers are going to be on the Friday. We're going to have speakers on Friday. We're going to have speakers on Sunday. We have just 2 speakers Saturday morning, but the rest of the time is going to be spent in networking and enjoying a 5-star resort. You need to go to that resort there and look it up and see all the things you're going to be able to do while you are there. And folks, I want to encourage you, take a look at this stage. And I was just sitting down there and I was just imagining a year ago, I didn't know any of these people. This is the importance of being in the room and establishing relationships, because when I put out the call to be a part of the P.I.L.L Method's very first event, no one told me no. Listen, did you see the lineup we have here? The mindset that it takes to even put the thing on and to get the people in the room. This is what we're going to be teaching you. This is what you're going to be able to leave with. If you've received any value from this room so far today, would you put a number 1 in the chat? Put a number 1 in the chat if you've received any value from the room so far today. Go ahead and put a number 1 in the chat. And here's another thing I'm going to ask you to do. All right. Put a number 2 in the chat if you're willing to copy the link up top and share it to your social media. Put a number 2 in the chat if you're willing to share take that link and share it out to your social media at least 5 times before next Friday. We would appreciate that so very much. Jared, I think we have some more value to give out here. What's going on here?
Conference and in this room. So look, I have a question you want to ask, feel free to raise your hand. We're going to go ahead and go with Zayden on the stage. And there was a question in the chat, but since Zayden is here to interact with you, let's go ahead and go with Zayden first. And then if we don't have any more questions, we'll go down to the chat. So Zayden, please unmic and let us know what your question is.
Hello, good morning. Hopefully you guys can hear me pretty well. So my question is this. I've watched a couple of your videos now, and I am buying a house. I will be closing at the end of June. And so I was given a suggestion from a loan officer prior to coming to your videos that said, it's kind of similar to your last situation. He suggested that I go ahead and pay 2 months in advance on the house during July, which is that period you don't have to make a payment. And then also try to get on a bi-monthly or bi-weekly schedule where I'm paying like my mortgage in 2 payments each month instead of just a 1 payment a month. And he said that would cut me down to kind of that same range of like maybe 9 years, 8 years. But I wanted to know if I did that and also paid an extra, maybe as much as an extra $2,000 every month, Number one, does it make sense with this plan that you guys have? Does it kind of make sense to do that? And, would that work doing all these different things? Like I said, you're paying 2 payments for your monthly payment instead of just in 1 payment. And I'm paying 2 months ahead of my mortgage payment starting, and then an extra $2,000 every month.
Okay, Zayden. Here's what's going on. We know so little about the lending process. And do you know, when you start your mortgage and when you pay it off, when you make the very first payment and when you pay the last payment, do you know that the bank charges you, when it comes to mortgages, that's when you pay the daily interest. That's the only 2 times. The rest of it is just kind of built in. So what he was telling you is that, when you get the mortgage and you close and you don't have to make a payment for like 30 or 45 days, something like that, that ain't free.
Right.
That ain't free. All right. If there's a daily interest charge for that. And what he was saying is that if you go ahead and make a payment now, you don't have to just have that daily interest build up on you. So that was good advice. All right. Now, everyone who becomes one of our clients here at P.I.L.L Method, they generally, if they're already doing a biweekly payment, they end it immediately. Because most of our clients just make 1 payment a month. And the other thing is, we don't add extra money to principal every single month. You can get a spreadsheet for that. You don't need us for that. A spreadsheet will do that for you. With the P.I.L.L Method, you make strategic payments at particular times during the year to make sure you're saving the maximum amount of interest per dollar. See, the reason why you pay off a loan is not to pay it off fast. The reason why you pay off a loan is to pay it off cheap, is to cut the interest costs. So we're going to teach you everything you need to know about how interest cost actually works and how we can do certain things at a certain amount of time to make sure that you pay the least amount of interest possible. All right. So we simplify a very complicated process by giving you like a financial GPS saying, do this with your money on this day in this month with this amount, and then and apply it to this particular loan. And we're going to show you how you can save the maximum amount of interest per dollar applied. And our clients don't pay off their loans in 23 years, because that's the most you're going to be able to do with a biweekly payment. Our clients pay off their loans in 7 to 9 years. We save you 23, not pay off in 23. So that's going to be the difference. That's going to be the difference there, Zayden.
Okay. So are you saying then that you would switch from doing the bi-weekly to just the 1 payment a month? That's the better way?
That's the way better way.
Okay.
Because see, here's the thing. When you wait, when you're waiting, so there's only, when you're making a bi-weekly payment, there's only 2 months out of the year that you're going to make a third half payment. Okay. And while you're waiting to do that, you're paying some pretty expensive interest payments while you're waiting 6 months to put that extra half payment on. That's the only one that saves you interest. You know how many people I talk to who have a biweekly payment and they're making that payment on the 1st, and then they make another payment on the 15th to do their 2 payments a month. And I ask, do you believe that by paying on the 1st and paying on the 15th, you're actually saving time and interest? Most of them say yes. The answer is no, you are not. Mortgages accept only full payments and then they apply it. You pay on the 1st and then you wait and pay on the 15th. Then they combine the payments and then they apply that to your mortgage. That's when the money is applied. Not till you make that second payment. The first payment does nothing for you. Do you know why? Here's what I believe. You know why I believe that mortgage companies love the biweekly payment system?
Why is that?
Because some of you got so super smart that you don't pay your mortgage on the 1st. You use up all the grace period, because it doesn't cost you any more money to pay on the 15th of the month than it does on the 1st. So they said, well, shoot, if I get them to pay me on the 1st, at least we can have that money in our coffers so we can make some interest on it. What do you think about that?
No, it makes perfect sense. And I also can understand though people wanting to do that split payment, because just like me, most people get 2 checks every month, so it kind of makes it seem like it's easier. So I get what you're saying completely.
Yeah.
And I guess you're also saying on the amortization schedule that even if you did the buy, the twice a month, it's still showing up as that one line.
Right. Now here's the thing with that. Now, when it comes to the biweekly payment, for that reason, what they're doing is putting that money in a savings account for you that makes no interest. Well, if you want to make 2 payments, make 2 payments to yourself. Put that money in your savings account and let you make the interest on it.
Makes sense to me.
And then when you get the second payment, then give it. So listen, folks, these things that are being done for us, they seem like favors. But what it really is setting banks up to be able to do what's called fractional reserve lending. Do you know what that is, sir?
No.
Fractional reserve lending is for every dollar I have on deposit, I can lend out 7 or 8. Okay, so this is why I need you to go ahead. Let me give you a toaster or $100 so you can come in and put your money in my bank so we can run your checking account and, give you a savings account. Please do that. And I will give you a toaster and I will pay you 1/10 of 1% interest on your savings account. So we could do that favor for you. Same thing with escrow. As a favor to you, we're going to make sure that we pay your taxes and insurance for you. Now, these are the folks that have a choice. Some mortgages don't offer you the choice. I'm going to tell you that right now. But for those of you that have a choice, they're going to do a favor for you so that you can have an escrow account, so that you can put money in a savings account that pays you no interest, so that they can pay your taxes and insurance for you as a favor. And I'm doing air quotes for you who are listening.
Yeah, and I remember you saying before, it was really important. I know you haven't said it today, but about making those extra payments and making sure that you tell them that it goes to principal, and check to see if they have any rules or anything on paying those payments, depending on who your lender is.
Right.
Making sure that it goes directly to principal. Otherwise, they may put it, like you said, into an escrow.
Exactly. And they know where you want it. But they'll put it in the escrow faster than you can shake your head. So here's what we're talking about. Just follow the rules. When you follow the rules, we're going to be good. And then what we're going to do at the P.I.L.L method is make sure you do the right thing at the right time to make sure you're getting the maximum result from spending your money. Okay? You want to know, when you pay extra, when you make this payment, this prepayment, you want to know that you're saving the maximum amount of interest per dollar. And we have been doing this for 88 years. Amortizing mortgages is 88 years old this year, started in 1934. And for that amount of time, most people have never known how much interest they save when they give the bank even an extra $100. But we give it because we're conditioned to do it, and everybody is doing it. But if folks around the dinner table start talking about, you know what, I paid it at this time of the month, I paid it with this much money, and I saved $6 in interest for every dollar I applied, instead of what I was doing before and when I was only saving $3 in interest for every dollar. Nobody talks like that. Do you know why? Because we're not taught to measure our results when it comes to mortgages. The P.I.L.L method wants to bring that into the conversation and make sure everybody knows how much interest you're saving per dollar, so you can make very good decisions with your dollar. I want to get the biggest bang for my buck. How about you, sir?
Definitely.
There you go. So, do you know how to get a hold of us?
I do. I actually have your page up, and all your contact information is there.
All right. So listen, folks, if you just came into the room, then here's what we're talking about. We're saying go to ice10klive.com and click on the button that says get a savings and earnings report and follow the instructions, and you'll get a code so that you can to your cell phone, so you can take that code and plug it back into the website. That will get you to our financial form. Just fill it out, and then we'll tell you the month, day, and year you'll be debt free, set up a consultation for you, tell you how much interest you're going to save, and that's the savings part. But the earnings part is that interest saved. If you're careful, you can invest that money into your family to start growing generational wealth with interest that used to go to the bank. Oh, now we're firing on all cylinders when we're saving money and making money. Oh my gosh. I love every bit of that. All right. So do you have any other questions for me?
One last question.
Yes.
If you were to get a windfall, whether it's an inheritance, I don't know, maybe you hit the lottery, you got $50,000. Do you recommend, if somebody wanted to go ahead and pay off their loans, they could be in the middle of it, paying that, or still strategically breaking that up and paying a little bit, like you said on your GPS, the way you guys have your program set up? I just wonder, like, initially, what would you tell
the initial answer is, if you got a big windfall paying off the mortgage, absolutely not. Never, ever, 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 ever take your money that you could actually be making money with. And listen, wait a second here. Let me put something on the screen here, and then I'll show you. Are you looking at my screen?
I am.
Okay, hold on. Let me get an example, and I'll show you what I mean by that. Oh my gosh, I'm so glad you asked that today. All right, especially for our people who are real estate investors. Hold on. Let me see if I can find this example. We're looking, and not there yet. Come on, I know I got it. I know I have an example here that we put together just for a situation like this, so we can show you what I'm looking for is something that we call our is this, oh, here it is. There it is. Boom. All right. Put this up. All right. You want to know what your effective interest rate is, okay? All right. So let me see here. We're going to change screens. Hide. And then we are going to share this screen instead. There we go. All right. Listen, everybody, I don't show this one every day. So everybody, you definitely want to see this particular example on what we were talking about, because see, there's a certain point at which more is too much. You start to violate the law of diminished return. When I put some money on, I want to get the maximum amount of interest saved per dollar. Once you put more on than you should, then that amount of money that you can save per dollar starts to go down. You don't save as much per dollar. Okay. So if you know the right amount, then you're looking at taking the rest of that money and putting it into an investment. Okay. So I've got on the screen an investor right here in this area. It's got $2 million worth of loans. Okay. Let me see if we break it down here. If you look down here over to the right, you'll be able to see, and you want to remember to go to ICE10K Live. I'm sorry. Yes. ICE10KLive.com and click on the live button, and you'll be able to see this example. Here's one mortgages at $1,389,000, and here's another mortgage for $846,000. Okay, so it's got two mortgages in here. Now we're going to be the amount of interest that the bank wants. All right, on this loan is right here. On these two loans, $1,123,195. Okay. $1,123,195 right there. The amount of interest that this gentleman is going to end up paying is only $231,468. That's a 79% reduction in interest. Okay. So if we were to have what interest rate would he need to pay his loan in the fashion that the bank would love him to pay the loan, just making the minimum payments every month? What interest rate would he need to be able to only pay $231,000? It's right here. You would need an interest rate of 0.067% to pay this little interest on a new 30-year loan, or in this case, a 25-year loan. So if you can borrow money at 0.67%, sir, and you got a lump sum of money, would you take that money and pay off a loan that you could get at 0.67% interest? Or would you put that money in an investment?
Not, because it's so low, it doesn't really even affect you that much.
So you would be doing something else with your windfall, right?
Right, because you can put that into any solid stock or investment and definitely get more than 1%.
This is what we're talking about. If we are looking at just paying off a loan fast, we will make a mistake. We need to pay a loan off cheap and do it in a way that we're not violating the law of diminished return. Once we get that point where you're saving the maximum amount of you can per dollar at a certain period of time, any more money than that should go towards wealth creation while you're figuring out the exact amount that goes to debt elimination. And that process is called critical point analysis. Critical point analysis. What is the point at which I start to lose money when I do a particular action? And when you start to lose money, you know when to stop. But if we don't have a way to measure, see, you can't optimize. There may be some engineers in the audience today, and they all know you can't optimize what you can't measure. And when it comes to lending, we're taught not to measure. So does this make sense to you?
Makes perfect sense to me.
Listen, folks, if you are getting value out of this room, please put a number 1 in the chat. Put a number 1 in the chat, because listen, we love giving this kind of information out. So do you have any other questions for me?
I do not. I guess I like this chart. I was going to see if it's on your page, but other than that.
Oh, you can get one.
That's pretty much it. I do appreciate it, Don. It's been a great help to me, and thank you for answering my question.
Well, listen, can I show you one last piece of this?
Sure.
Because his loans, all right, his loans are $2,236,000. Okay, he has a lot of. This is an office building, and he clears. He makes about $41,000 a month on these 2 buildings. 41 grand. Okay. His mortgage payment is only $14,000. He wasn't paying attention because he was making 41 and paying out 14. He wasn't paying attention to the amount of interest he was paying. We showed him a way to save a lot of interest without using the monies that he's earmarked for other investments. Follow me so far? Mm-hmm. All right. So by saving, here's the amount of interest that he's saving. $891,000 in interest saved. It's we're catching up here on my screen. $891,000 in interest saved. By doing that, and he was supposed to be out of debt in a certain amount of time, we're going to have him out of debt a lot sooner, like 4.9 years instead of 21.9 years. So in the 17 years he would have been in this debt, we're going to show him how to take that money and turn it into, over 17 years, how much? Over $9 million. He's going to be able to make with the money he used to give away to the bank and just chalk it up as the cost of doing business.
Super.
This is what we're talking about. And this is a seasoned investor here in my area, but he wasn't taking advantage of saving the interest cost on these loans. Now he is. So thank you for bringing this up. Thank you for asking the question that gave me an opportunity to show this chart. And everyone that becomes a client gets this chart. Because once you become a client, this becomes a legal document that we have to meet or exceed these numbers, or you get all of your money back, no questions asked, no restrictions, nothing off. You get 100% of the money back that you paid if we can't meet or exceed these numbers. So there's no risk at all for anyone. And this is why over the last 16 years on our Better Business Bureau, we have received absolutely zero complaints. Zero complaints. You know, people love to complain. They'll complain faster than they will give you a positive recommendation. They'll complain faster. No complaints. Because we want to make sure, this is why we don't allow people just to come in and buy our program. They have to go through a process to figure out if the program is going to be right for them. And if it's right for them, we'll offer it. But if it's not right for them, we won't offer it. There you go, sir. Thank you so much. Jared, back to you.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Awesome. Again, if you're not following Don, you absolutely should, because he's in the best real estate finance rooms on Clubhouse. So make sure you click on Don's profile, give him a follow. And also, I want to shout out all the other moderators. We got 10K Cards, we got Kenyatta, we got Credit Goddess, we got Sharon, we got Dominique, Deshaun, and Cleo up on the stage. And Don, we got 12 minutes left. I know that your Sundays are really busy.
Yes.
We can squeeze in one more question. We actually have a question in the chat, so let's squeeze that one in. It's a pretty easy question.
All right. So if we don't have any more questions on the stage, then we can turn hand raising off, and then we'll do the question in the chat.
So first and foremost, shout out to Carolyn Boyd. Don, she will be with us in Nashville. So thank you, Carolyn, for being there. And purchasing the ticket. We'd love to see more people. Let us know if you'll be there as well. And then the question that was asked in the chat was, Kiara White, does this method work on car loans?
Oh, most definitely. Understanding how interest cancellation works is important for all loans. It's important for all loans. If you're being charged interest, you're allowing, even with a car loan, you have a monthly payment schedule. And on car loans, which is different from a mortgage, they're actually charging you daily interest every single month. And that's how they figure out how much interest you're going to pay. So by managing that, you'll be able to pay a lot less interest. The other thing you need to understand is, if you have a car loan and a mortgage, you want to be careful which ones you pay first and how much you apply to each one of these loans, because the interest on a car loan, even though it is maybe a higher interest rate, the interest cost is much lower than that of your mortgage. So be careful while you're saving $2,000 in interest by paying off the car early, by ignoring the mortgage for that length of time could cost you $20,000 in interest while you're trying to save $2,000 by paying off the car early. So having a computer program telling you which one to attack, in which month, which day of the month, and know exactly what to do with an exact amount of money, I'm telling you, this is the best way to manage your debt. Pay the least amount of interest possible. I've had people pay off the wrong loan at the wrong time. The loan's paid off, but it actually cost them 50, 60, 70, even $80,000 in interest because they paid off the wrong loan at the wrong time. You don't want to be there. All right. Anything else?
So let me ask you a question. How will someone know they're paying off the wrong loan, Don?
Oh, the only way they could do that is to do the math, Sean.
So you're telling me if they didn't get in touch with you, there's a chance they can pay off the wrong loan.
Oh,
If they get it with you, you're definitely going to point them in the right direction. Is that what I'm hearing, Don?
you're hearing that exactly right, Sean. You're hearing that exactly right. In fact, as we go out today and we get the moderators going, we're going to put on the screen. You'll be able to see the opportunity cost calculator that does all of the math that will be on the screen, so everybody can see as we do our outros for all the moderators. And we're going to end up with doing a little bit about the conference that's coming up. And folks, listen, if you received value today, go ahead, put a number 1 in the chat. But if you put a number 1 in the chat, here's what I'm also going to ask you to do. Go to the link up top. All right. And get that. Go ahead, and we're going to put our link to the conference up top. And then go ahead and take that link and then share it to your social media. At least all your social media outlets, on your Twitter, on your YouTube, on your Instagram, on your Facebook, TikTok, whatever you're using, go ahead and share it to each platform at least 5 times for me. I'd appreciate that very much. And because we love being here to give you this kind of value. This would mean the world to me and the other speakers and those who are going to be in Nashville, that you did this for us. We do appreciate you sharing it. Go ahead, Jared. Back to you.
Bestselling book on Amazon that people can access via this 10K card, which they will get if they purchase the book. I'd love for you to just talk about that real quick before we moderate intros, and I'll update.
Okay. All right. Your audio is really low. Okay, folks. Here's what we're doing. The book. We're going to put the book up on the screen right now, and it is a number 1 bestseller on Amazon. And the information that you received today is based in that book. All right. And out of 33 million titles on Amazon, is the only book that talks about how to read an amortization schedule and how you can position yourself to save the maximum amount of interest possible. And once you get that book, we're also going to give you a 10K card that goes along with it. You know those cards you've been clicking on all day? That is a digital business card, folks, that you can make it do whatever you need it to do and use it for any occasion. And we got Sean 10K here, who is the founder and developer of this 10K card. And he's going to tell you how valuable it is. Sean?
First of all, Don, no capping. You're not going to get it for free. Don actually paid for that card for you. What Don said is, look, Sean, I've seen the value in the card. I've been using it and I've been achieving great results from the card. I want to make sure that everyone that purchased a copy of my book can actually get a copy of this card as well. So what Don did was to prepay for a bunch of cards to facilitate every client that purchased one of his books. So when you purchase one of Don's books, guys, you're not going to get all the information that will help you where it comes to paying off your interest early, but you're also going to be given a digital business card, a 10K card, which you'll be seeing popping up a lot on Clubhouse. And it's one of the best way for you to present yourself to your clients and to your audience without you even having to say a word. So if you want clients to research you, connect with you on all your social media, your website, your calendar, if you want your clients to really connect with you on the deepest level, guy, and then make a decision to do business with you, you want to get a 10K card. And the best route to get a 10K card, especially here on Clubhouse,
is to get a copy of Don's book, because when you get a copy of his book, you're getting a $100 digital card that was already prepaid for by Don. With that said, Captain Don, back to you.
All right, Sean. Listen, you said something to me earlier about if somebody were to purchase an in-person ticket to the developing a money mindset, developing a spiritual money mindset conference, were you going to do something special for them?
So here's what this, guys. I'm always looking to see how we can add more value. So whenever I show up in anyone's room, I'm gonna put a one-time offer out while I'm in this room. So anyone that decides to go to the conference, go to smmindset.com. In fact, Jared, let's put a link at the top there, buddy. smmindset.com to make sure that there's no confusion as to where SM, let me put it in really quick. MINDSETS. Okay, there it is. So anyone to go to the link at the top, guys, smmindset.com, and you get yourself a copy of the ticket. Send me the receipt of your ticket. And if you already have a 10K card, we are going to give you the upgrade for free. So what does that mean? If you have the promo, the basic version of the card, we're going to upgrade you to the pro version, which is a $300 value at no cost. This would be our simple way of saying thank you for supporting the spiritual money mindset. If you already have the pro version of the card, get in touch with us, because we're the owner of the global networking community as well. So you send us a copy of your receipt. Even if you have the pro version of the card, we're going to list you on the global networking community as well at no additional cost. To be listed on the global community, it's $100 per listing. We will give you an additional listing for free. So get a copy of the ticket, send me your receipt, guys, and let us bless you today from the House of 10K Cards in support of the P.I.L.L method.
Hey, Sean, I was just thinking about this. When people come to events like this and they start networking and they're passing out paper cards so they can, contact people later. What are we going to be doing at this event so you don't have to do that?
Very good. So at the event that's coming up, guys, not only every ticket holder is going to have a 10K card, but we're going to put you together on a networking list. So when you're moving up and about the seminar, you don't have to go focus on taking someone's business card or giving them your business card. All you simply have to do is to click on the button that says network with us, and then you'll be able to find the individuals that you're actually connecting with. So you're going to be given the 10K card that belongs to everyone at the event, and you can access it just by clicking a button. So when you're at the event, guys, you will literally be introduced to everyone in the room, because all of them will have a 10K card that will be on one networking list.
So Sean, let me make sure I get this. You're going to be giving out a card with everybody's contact information on it already before I even meet them. It'll be on one card, and everyone's going to get it.
Everyone is not only going to get it, but you'll be able to see who's in the room, who exactly they are. So when you approach that individual, you can have a conversation based on what you read about them.
Wow. Listen, folks, that has never, ever been done anywhere. Oh my gosh. So listen, I want to get to the outros. I got a little bit more to share with you, and then we're going to be gone. But thank you so very much, Sean. Thank you, Ms. Cooper, for doing what you're doing, giving $1,500 off your program because they buy an in-person ticket. We got so much value going on here, folks. Get your ticket early. Okay, let's go ahead and get the outros done.
All right, so we're gonna start from the bottom and move up to the top. So Cleo, if you're around, just unmic and give a quick 30-second outro. All right, so Cleo is away, but she's an entrepreneur, investor, and is on a lot of different stages. So make sure to tap in with her if you want to open up your Clubhouse experience and see more stages. Fashawn, if you're around, if you do a quick outro.
Peace to the room. Thanks, guys, for giving me the opportunity to listen to this and me on stage. I'm Fashawn Vega. I'm a designer and strategist from Detroit. I live in Atlanta and Portland part-time. I really work with organizations and companies to help them enhance the quality of life for their constituents or users. I love to connect with you if possible to figure out how to help. And I love this information today because I'm interested in investing in properties and trying to figure out how to, get rid of that mortgage in 7 years versus 30. Sounds fantastic.
Absolutely. Appreciate your support in the room. Dominique, if you're around, please do an outro. All right. Dominique is somebody that adds a lot of value on Clubhouse. Definitely tap in on her bio, tap in on Sharon's, and you'll open up rooms in the hallway. Credit Goddess, are you around?
Yes, I am. Hey, everyone. My name is Rose Lord Lewis, also known as Credit Goddess. I'm all things credit and the official credit expert for the P.I.L.L Method crew here. If you guys are interested in my services, you guys can definitely tap in with me. The best form of method to contact me is by sending your email address and name to the number in my bio, which is 888-557-5778. A link will be sent to you with all the different services that I offer, from personal credit to business credit to student loans. If your loans are in default, I can get them out of default, back in good standing. I assist my clients in improving their credit profile so that way they can look good to the lenders, to the creditors, or anywhere you're trying to get this money from. They are willing to lend, but your credit profile needs to be intact. It's not just about the credit score, it's about what your profile looks like. So definitely tap in with me if you want to get my opinion of what your credit needs to look like. So that way we can build up that credit to get approved and never denied. So definitely send your name and email address to 888-557-5778 and book a consultation with me. Thank you. And we'll see you tomorrow at 8.
Yes. Kenyatta, are you around to do a quick outro? All right. So Kenyatta is actually at an event right now, so she's not able to speak, but she came up on the stage because she knows how important this information is for her following, and she's coming up to support the room. So she is a financial service provider, entrepreneur of over 20 years, Illinois real estate broker, investor, instructor, and interest cancellation agent, and the rich auntie. So you definitely want to tap in with her. She is the official commercial lender of the P.I.L.L Method, and she will be speaking about everything that she does as a commercial lender, as a real estate agent, but also the mindset lessons that she's learned to be successful in Nashville, Tennessee. So definitely make sure you're following Kenyatta, amazing person, and definitely somebody you want to tap in with when you come out to Nashville. All right, 10K cards, you're next.
Super good morning, family. How are you? My main focus in this room, guys, is to validate what Don is doing. I've been through his presentation. I visited his home, spent time with him and his wife, because if I'm going to promote someone or I'm going to do business with someone, I want to see how they operate in their family life. And I'm here to tell you that Don doesn't only speak it, he actually walk and live it. So anyone in this room that really want to take their business to the next level, take their life to the next level, definitely tap in and get a copy of his book. And also, once it's within your budget, get a ticket to his event. You can get the virtual ticket, you can get the in-person ticket. Come to the event, guys. You just never know what will be unlocked by being around great individual that will be at the event. I'm going to be there. Don is going to be there. Jared is going to be there. Dr. Eric Thomas is going to be there. Otis is going to be there. Jay Massey, all the heavy hitters. We have Jonathan Bing, Mrs. Cooper Home Loans. Every expert from the different segment of the industry is going to be there that will help you to get your mindset correctly for the challenges that is before us. Because if you get your mindset correctly, these are the best of times that are about to hit us. With that said, Jared, back to you, my brother.
Yes. So, hey, what's up, everybody? My name is Jared Alberton. I've been on the tech space for over 15 years. So that's primarily what I talk about on Clubhouse. I also help startup founders get funding. So you can see me hosting rooms in places like the Startup Club and other areas like women in business, supporting women entrepreneurs and the subjects that they cover in that club. But also talk about the metaverse, Web 3.0, crypto, and NFTs. I do a room called Web 3.0 Opportunities and Careers bi-weekly, and you can check it out, the replays of my bio, at 2,400 people in the first one, over 2,000 in the second one. And I'll actually be talking about the mindset when it comes to Web 3.0, the metaverse, crypto, and NFTs, but also the mindset that's helped me become successful in tech, and also the adversities that I've been through in a way that I've never talked about on Clubhouse. So love for you to see me there. I would love to network with you, and definitely make sure you click the link at the top, buy a ticket. And I also host this room with Don Monday, Wednesday, Friday, 8 a.m. Eastern time, and Sundays at 9:30 a.m. Eastern time in the P.I.L.L Method Club. If you want to follow the club, just go to Don's profile, scroll all the way down, and you'll find the P.I.L.L Method Club. Make sure to follow the club, and most importantly, make sure you're following Don because he supports a ton of real estate rooms, and you'll be able to see all the amazing content if you follow him and click that always on notification so that you get alerted when he goes on stage. All right, Don, you got the final words.
All right, Jared, I learned a new learned a new phrase while I've been doing all this because I've been around. I've been on the planet a few years, and so I'm catching up with some of the stuff that you guys know. I learned a term called brand ambassador, and this is what we're going to do for those of you that put a number 2 in the chat that are clicking on the link at the top and sharing it on your social media. Tag us. Tag the P.I.L.L Method on that, all right? And you are going to be the first people we contact for the next event so you could become a brand ambassador for us and help us to, you can help us to market and sell tickets. And then we're going to show you that that's actually going to be an opportunity for you to earn some income from working with the P.I.L.L Method as a brand ambassador. So share it now, and then make sure that you what is it? What did I just say? What do we need? They need to do? What's that term called? When they link it back to us? Yeah, there you go. See, I told you I don't know all that stuff. They can tag us. If you tag us, then you will be the first ones we contact as brand ambassadors for the next event. Oh, come on, man. We want everybody to level up. And listen, right now, you need to understand one thing, that this is the place to be in Nashville this weekend coming up, the 20th through the 22nd. Get your tickets now. Get your tickets now and be there to hear all these fabulous speakers, including, and we're going to get our last word from Dr. Eric Thomas. Take us out.
This is an opportunity of a lifetime. Your grandma counting on you to do the right thing. Your mama counting on you. Your cousins, your brothers and sisters are counting on you to cash in on this opportunity. Everybody want to be a beast until it's time to do what beasts do. There are kids that don't get what they don't eat like you eat. They're at the same university. They don't get what you get. But with this right here and your skill set, this thing can take you wherever you want to go and then take your kids wherever you want them to go. You know how many people would die to have the gear y'all got? You know how many people would die to get on these planes and travel the world? You know how many people would die to have your life? And you got it. Let's go. You got money, but do you got that dog? Yeah, you got money, you got privilege, but do you got that dog? Do you got that stamina? So yeah, you might have something I don't have right now, but if I work hard, I can have what you have. I want you to chant it out. This is it. Be phenomenal or be forgotten. 1, 2, 3. Be phenomenal, be forgotten. 1, 2, 3. Be phenomenal, be forgotten. Last time. 1, 2, 3. Be phenomenal, be forgotten.